Today we're going to be looking at my arrangement of Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence from my book, Light So Brilliant. I'll play it for you in sections and then kind of talk through the tricky spots. So I think the most important part about playing this first section is to keep your right hand very relaxed. Make sure you're closing all the way on all of these. Try not to let your fingers pop up like this because that's super difficult to get a clear, relaxed sound. And your attention should really be on your left hand because that's the melody and you want your dynamics to come through. And the right hand's just playing a texture. So make sure that you can play the right hand without having to look at it. So moving on to the next section, and just a quick comment that this very last measure before you go into the second verse, verses are divided by double bars. Make sure you connect across the bar line there. It saves you a ton of trouble. So second verse, your right hand is playing an augmented version of the melody in half notes, slightly modified, while your left hand is still playing that same normal version of the melody in quarter notes. And they're actually right on top of each other. So you just have to be aware of where things are really close, where things might overlap. And some of these longer lines you won't be able to put all four fingers on because you have to leave that last one off. Otherwise, it kind of muffle. Let me just play this for you. So right there, don't put your four on yet. And if this chord is too big for you, I have long fingers so I can reach it, but your left hand's not doing anything. So you could take the bottom two fingers or notes with your left hand, just like that. Great, so moving on to the third verse. Your right hand finally gets the normal melody here, and it can kind of open up. You want to have a really rich texture, and you can kind of relax and take a breath. Let's talk about that muffle at the bottom here. That muffle, notice there's a line moving to the A, and that is just telling you put a finger back on that A as you play the next note to keep it from ringing through. So if you watch, I'll play it slowly. And so I put my thumb on, and I'm just going to put my two back on that B, or on the A, excuse me, to muffle it while I play the B. One more time. And I don't play that note, I just come off. Keep going from there. those last two measures, this is kind of a build up to the triumphal entry section that comes next. Make sure you're accenting your thumb here, because that's the exciting, the moving notes. What else did I wanted to say? Oh, you'll notice that I have very few chord symbols in this whole verse, and it's mostly because it's almost your left hand is doing a counter melody as opposed to chords. And so when you're thinking about your dynamics of your left hand, those should be just as exciting as the dynamics in your right hand. So all these little, you know, ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Even though it sounds a little odd by itself, it should still have that same drama. So coming into this triumphal entry section at the middle of page 2, you want it to be really big. And then I kind of do an echo. Substitute any kind of a B major chord that you want to. If you have a pedal harp, use a D sharp and just go for all those notes. If you don't, that's fine. You can just any chord that leaves out a D will sound good there. I wanted to stress the fingering that I have written. If you go back to the beginning of this section, it's tempting to just play that G with a thumb again. Oops, D natural, and jump up. But you can get a much more melodic sound if you switch to a 2 there and connect into the chord. Yeah. Connect, connect. It'll feel more solid overall, and you'll be able to shape that melody much better. Great, so I'm going to move on to this very last section after the B major chord. Here we go. There you go. And sometimes, depending on my mood, I actually let that pattern go longer, depending on how fast I was going, how loud I was playing. So you can feel free to mess around with that a little bit. Yes, so I hope those tips have been helpful, and if you have further questions, you can feel free to write them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. So thank you for watching.